The two things about results in the past that I have admired are that it has been focused on this issue of tuberculosis, which is not as sexy as some of the other issues that more obviously evoke the passion, but is an enormous issue and an issue that in developed countries we forget about because of the progress we have made, but it kills millions. But also because it's an advocacy organisation. And the fight against global poverty needs advocates. It needs advocates because of the scale of the problem. It's hard for people to imagine the scale of the numbers Marie was talking about. And it's hard for them to hear the message that, enormous as the task is, we're actually making progress. She put the number in terms of children dying per day. In terms of per year, which is the figure I have more readily in my mind, we have reduced the number from 12 million to 8 million. Now, you don't know whether to applaud or cry. The 4 million lives we've saved, children under 5 who died needlessly, is wonderful. The 8 million we haven't saved is tragic. But what we're showing is it can work. There's plenty of evidence of success. I don't recall seeing much of it reported in the Australian newspapers, but so it needs advocates. It needs focus. It needs people to make the public and the politicians focus on this issue, because Tennille's quite right about that quote. It's something I say often, and it's not a criticism when I say the immediate displaces the important. It happens to all of us in our lives. It happens in the private sector and in public. The issue that we have to deal with today gets dealt with even if it's not as important as the enduring issue that's in the background. And somebody needs to bring this issue of global poverty front and centre, because it's never, otherwise it'll always be important, but there'll be no day on which it's the most important issue. Somebody has to make it important, and that needs advocates. So I just want to, in conclusion, point you to what I think, and I know from the website and from past experience that results moving in this direction, for what I think is the next big thing on which we need advocates, because, and that's the issue of education in developing countries. All the evidence is that the best investment is education, girls' education in particular. You never evoke the passion and concern about education that you will about health. There is nothing that can move one as powerfully as the sight of a child in danger as a result of inadequate nutrition and poor health. But the only way to resolve that is to educate the families, and particularly the mothers. So I think what now needs advocates, and the results is moving in this direction as others are, is the issue of education, basic education, vocational education, higher education. All of it in developing countries needs more work. It needs advocates. I hope you'll all find a way to be that advocate. I want to thank Results for, not just for this award, for which I'm very grateful, but for the support, the inspiration, the creating the space within which people such as myself can move. We can, in a democracy, you can only do things that the public will give you a license to do. Well, you can only do them twice. You can do something once without a license. To keep doing it, you need, at the minimum, public acceptance and then hopefully public support. And leadership is about trying to take advantage of the opportunities of the space that is created. And one of the organisations that's been at the forefront of creating that space that's allowed people to move, at least for the last 20 years that I can recall, is Results. I thank them for that. I thank them for this award, and I thank you all for coming.